Evening and thank you for joining us. At the top at 6, drugs so dangerous you could overdose by touching them could be in a stash house or vehicle near you.
The Drug Enforcement Administration's new Houston Division Special Agent in charge says Mexican cartels are doing their part in fueling the opioid crisis across the country. At
Channel 5's Leslie Aguilar is live in our Hidalgo County newsroom.
Right now, the DEA has two big epidemics to fight, the opioid crisis and a meth epidemic. The Rio Grande Valley is a transnational shipment point for those drugs, causing overdoses all over the country. New Houston DEA Special Agent in Charge Will Glaspie says those dangerous drugs are being found in stash houses, 18-wheeler shipments, and vehicles, all passing through the Rio Grande Valley.
We have people that engage in the trafficking or the transporting or the smuggling of drugs, but we're fortunate that we don't have a lot of people that are using drugs.
Glaspie says there is a problem with prescription drug addiction in the valley, but most of those addicts haven't transitioned to using heroin. The DEA wants to keep it that way because of what's playing out in the Midwest and on the East Coast.
We're finding heroin and other drugs that are laced with fentanyl. And that is what's triggering the majority of these overdoses throughout the country.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that's 50 times more potent than heroin. Drugs smuggled across our border are being laced with it.
Mexican criminal organizations are manufacturing tablets that look exactly like that prescription medication that people are taking, that hydrocodone and that oxycodone, except it's not the actual pharmaceutical pill. This one is a counterfeit pill that has fentanyl in it.
Fentanyl can be absorbed through the skin or inhaled from the air. It doesn't take much of it to cause an overdose. That's why it's important, if you see something suspicious in your neighborhood, report it. You could stop a deadly drug overdose from happening somewhere else in the country. A problem authorities are having in fighting the influx of fentanyl is that the chemical compounds keep changing, much like the problem that we saw with synthetic marijuana or spice. Once one compound is made illegal, another equally dangerous but similar chemical pops up. So the DEA announced today they will emergency schedule all compounds of fentanyl-like drugs, making them illegal immediately, and the drug traffickers eligible for prosecution. Reporting live in our Hidalgo County newsroom, Leslie Aguilar, Channel 5 News at 6.
The DEA also spoke to us about cartel influence. Will Glaspie says the Gulf Cartel remains the biggest threat in the valley. He says since they're without a leader, there's a lot of infighting in the organization. Glaspie says the DEA is working with Mexico to make the Gulf Cartel less relevant.
We are having significant successes on both sides of the border, in the United States and in Mexico, because of our partnerships with the Mexican government now.
Glaspie says the Zetas are no longer active in the valley, but are very significant in the Laredo area.